This is Gene Monterostelli, and welcome to the Tapping Q&A podcast recorded live to tape from Williamsburg in Brooklyn. This is episode 522, originally aired December 6th, 2021. Hi everyone, I hope this finds you well wherever you are and whatever time of day you're getting a chance to listen to this. Thanks for spending a little time with me today. Today we're going to talk about and do some tapping for those times where we feel over our head and out of place because we don't feel like we measure up to the people around us. But before we do that, two quick announcements. First of all, we have a free 10-part guide on how you can use tapping to eliminate self-sabotage. All you need to do is go to tappingqa.com, click on the big blue button. If you happen to be listening to today's episode in the website, just go up in that upper right-hand corner. You'll see a big blue button there as well. Once you sign up every single day for the next 10 days, we're going to send you one simple small tool that you can use that will make it easier for you to eliminate sabotage and to take action easier. Then at the end of 10 days, you can choose the one or two tools that work best for you, for your personality, your lifestyle, what has gone on, which will make it super easy for you to keep using those tools over and over again to make it easier for you to take consistent, authentic action. Secondly, I want to send a big shout out to all of the supporters of the Tapping Q&A podcast. This month, that is happening two ways. First of all, as always, I want to thank those who directly support the Tapping Q&A podcast. Those supporters, in addition to supporting the show to ensure that you continue to get this content all of the time absolutely free, they also receive a number of amazing announced and unannounced bonuses. If you want to be a supporter as well, all you need to do is go to tappingqa.com/support. One of the things we do every single month is we take 10% of the support from the podcast and we put it towards Kiva. Kiva is a microloan site where we get to support small businesses all over the world. And so that means the second group of people I'd like to thank are those who also participated in the raffle that we do every single year after Thanksgiving here in the United States, where I raffle off 3 sessions to do some one-on-one work with me. From that raffle, we raised another $1,500 to Kiva, which I matched, which means that just in the last week and a half, as a community, we have supported close to 130 small businesses all over the world. And the really cool part about Kiva is every single time the loans are paid back, we get to loan them out again and again. And so as a community, we have donated over $25,000. That's over 1,000 small businesses that have been supported. If you'd like to continue to help us to do that, all you need to do is go to tappingqa.com/support or drop me a note at support@tappingqa.com. And thanks again for everyone who's supporting the show and most importantly, supporting those all over the world so they can grow tiny businesses that make differences in their families' lives. One of the interesting and fun parts about living in New York City, I'm going on 8.5 years of living in New York, is you meet some absolutely extraordinary people who do absolutely extraordinary things. And because it's New York, we travel in the same circles, we go to the same places, we're at the same events. And because that is the case, it's really easy to find yourself in conversations with people who have achieved very significant things, either achieve things professionally like actors, directors, musicians, or achieve things financially. Recently, I was hanging out with a group of people who I had met at a restaurant, and everybody at the table, the rent they pay for 1 month is more than the rent I pay for 1 year. And I would be willing to bet, because where I live in New York, my rent payment is more than your mortgage payment if you own a home. And so when you're in those situations, well, I don't know about you, when I'm in those situations, it's really easy to feel self-conscious. It's really easy to feel out of place. It's really easy to feel like you don't belong. And this can happen to us in our life in lots of different ways. It doesn't have to be around the rich or the famous. I can remember years and years ago, I was visiting a number of friends of mine. I was living in Washington, D.C., and there was a conference that was happening, and everybody who was on the speaking team was friends of mine at this particular conference. So I went over to hang out for a day and a half of the conference just to see my friends, and we were getting ready to go to dinner. And so I was milling around in the lobby and I was talking to one of the other participants who was at the conference by himself. And we were just chatting, and he had no idea who I was before the conversation. And I'm like, hey, you know, me and some friends were about to walk to dinner. I live here in DC. I know a really good place nearby. You should join us. We always love more company. My friends are super, super open. You know, please come along. And the guy was like, awesome, that'd be great. And then 4 of my friends showed up, and they were the main speakers from the conference. And all of a sudden, there was this look of fear on this poor guy's face, like he didn't belong. And he so totally belonged. We so would loved for him to have joined us for dinner. And what he did is he's kind of went, no, and just hurried away. And I felt really bad, because my intention certainly was not to make him feel out of place. And I know exactly what it's like to be in that circumstance where it feels like everybody else is of one group, not even a class, not even of a status, but just a group. And we're standing on the outside of that group, and we just wonder, why are they allowing us to be here? Do we really belong? What are they thinking about us in those particular moments? And so that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to spend a couple of minutes tapping for those times where we feel uncomfortable and out of place because we feel like we're so different from the people we are around. So to begin with, what I want you to do is just tap on the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath. Take another nice big deep breath. And just move from tapping point to tapping point, repeating after me. I recognize the fact I'm not exactly like the people around me. The people around me have different experiences. They have different expertise. They have different levels of success. And sometimes I can feel like I'm on the outside looking in. That I don't feel like I belong. That I'm worried they're thinking I don't belong. I'm worried they're thinking that I'm not good enough to be there. And when that happens, I become small. I become quiet. I become insecure. I don't feel comfortable around them. And I don't feel comfortable being who I am. It is as if I am out of place. Not just out of place in this moment, but out of place as a person. That there must be something wrong with me. That I am defective. That I am not good enough. And I give myself permission to know they are human and I am human. They have struggles and I have struggles. I don't have to feel out of place. I don't have to feel insecure. In some cases, they're even excited to have someone not like them among their numbers. I give myself permission to know my insecurities are just trying to keep me safe. They're just trying to keep me on guard. I give myself permission to know it is okay for me to simply be me. It is okay for me to be around others who are not like me. Being around people who are different actually makes it easier and better for me. I give myself permission to know that it is safe to be around those who are different. I give myself permission to know it is comfortable to stretch in this particular way. Not because it's comfortable in the moment, but because I can grow into comfort as I learn my way through this. I give myself permission to be easy and gentle with myself. To be myself in big and small ways. And to share who I am authentically. Nice big deep breath. Now, as you tap through that, we might have actually poked more buttons. We might have uncovered more places that you feel uncomfortable, which is okay. That just means that there's more work to be done. And so just give yourself permission to go back to the beginning of the audio, tap through it again, jot down some notes of some things that came to mind as you were doing this, but just give yourself permission to be fully present to what you just experienced. Listen to that fear. Listen to that part of you that's trying to keep you safe in big and in small ways. If you have any questions or feedback about this, I'd love to hear from you. All you need to do is drop a note to support@tappingqna.com, or if you're on the website, just click on that contact button up in the upper right-hand corner. Both of those, even though it's a support email address, come to me. I have everything going to a support email address, so it's easier for me to not lose it amongst my other overpopulated inbox. If you know someone in your life who could use a little tapping like this to see the world in a slightly different way, to be more comfortable inside of their own skin, please be our ambassador. Don't spam your inbox and send it to everybody in the world, but you might know one or two or three people who could really use this today. And if you send it to them and they don't listen to it, the simple fact you've reached out and said, hey, I'm thinking of you today. I want your day to be a little better. That will make their day better, even if they don't consume the resource. And I would personally appreciate it because our marketing budget is your word of mouth. If you haven't subscribed to the show, I'd really encourage you to do so. In podcasting parlance, subscribe is always free. You can go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, Audible, Alexa, basically everywhere you consume audio. Just search for Tapping Q&A, click subscribe, click follow, and most importantly, turn on those notifications so when a new bit of content comes out, you can consume it and tap along with it and learn from it right away. For the Tapping Q&A podcast, this is Gene Montrastelli. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye-bye. The Tapping Q&A podcast is copyright Gene Montrastelli Tapping Q&A. All views expressed by guests are those of the guests and not necessarily of Gene Montrastelli and Tapping Q&A.